Hello everybody, I'm Art, and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Enigmatica 2 Expert. And in this episode, we will once again not be building a roof. However, this time I do at least have a plan for what I want to do, and that plan unfortunately requires a ton of nickel ore, and I do not want to go mine that myself. So I think the focus for part of this episode is going to be how to automate the automated sieve that I got in a previous episode in one of the loot boxes. So we're going to see if we have enough power to actually make that thing work along with all the other machines we need to automate the process. That said, if we don't have enough power, I guess we know what the second half of this episode is going to be, right? Yeah, we're going to have to go build more power. But we will figure that out after we get that part done. That said, as you can see behind me, I actually got some work done on the culinary generators, just like I promised. So first things first, down here in the bottom, you can see that I have the harvester feeding into that chest right down there, the crate that's directly above it. That's because for some reason when I had it feeding into the drawers, it wasn't extracting from the harvester nearly fast enough to keep up with production again. So that chest is there as a buffer. From there, it feeds up into these drawers and into the tunnel up above. Everything's normal as before there. Once it gets out of these drawers, it passes into the crafter, same as before, but instead of what we were doing before, we're making vegetable soup, tomato soup, old rolled veggie stew, and seed soup, and two things of stock, so that we have some variety and 4 types of soup. As you can see, we're backing up on seed soup, so I probably actually need to add another 2 culinary generators here just to eat up all the excess so that this doesn't jam up completely, because the other soups, as you can see, are starting to run a little low. But if you go into these, they're still pretty much packed up. Now, the upside is we are actually a net positive on power for this box now. I don't actually know how much excess is coming out of it, but it's definitely keeping this powered up. When I removed it from the power grid, it had no issues keeping up with that now. So, mission accomplished, problem solved. I'll probably have to rearrange this again some later when I go to add the villager trade exchange units to start making emeralds from some other machines. But for now, this is good enough. This at least gets us to a net power positive on this particular area. So you might be asking yourself, what's the plan for automating the sieve and trying to get some free ore? So there's a general line of things that we need to make. So the process we basically need is, we need a compact machine, which you've seen me make those before, that's no big deal. A cobblestone generator, which you haven't seen before, just makes cobblestone constantly. It's not as cheap as it is in some packs, but it's still relatively cheap. It's just a bunch of lead, some coal, and some tin. All stuff we've made before. No real surprises there. Then, once we've got the cobblestone, we want to crush it into gravel. Because we actually want to use gravel for this to make some nickel. This is one of the easier recipes to do it. It also generates diamonds. And emeralds, as well as all of the base ore types. So we're just going to do it into gravel, because that's the lowest hanging fruit for this. We'll also want to do sand long term in the further step down, which is a little thing called dust, which is sand broken down even further to get different materials. But that's where we're going to start. So the Mekanism Crusher makes cobblestone into gravel with no byproducts, which is the problem with a lot of the other crushers, is some of them make an excess of sand and some of them make gravel, or not gravel, they make flint, stuff like that. So this is a relatively simple thing we can do to avoid the byproducts for now. After that, we need a way to compact it, because the auto heavy sieve, it requires compressed gravel, so 9 gravel in a single block. So the easiest way to do that for us, and the no power way of doing it, is to use a compacting drawer. So we'll just pass it directly into that and then into the sieve. And then what's a sieve without a mesh? And in this case, we enchanted a new one and we got Fortune 1 and Efficiency 3. I was hoping for Fortune 3 instead of that, but I'll take this. But any level of Fortune is better than no level of Fortune, like the one that's currently in my other sieve. But we'll set this up and we'll see if we have enough power first. So let me go put the box in. Actually, no. Let's go look at the rewards first in case it gives me another auto heavy sieve, because we haven't opened up stuff in quite a while. So let's go into the quests, and let's start with the gates, actually, because I know we've got a couple we opened up, which will open up other things, so, advanced plating. But let's roll the dice on a loot chest instead, because we can always make the advanced plating ourselves. And the next Nihilio, which is the diamond mesh that I didn't pick up, well, should have done that before I enchanted stuff and make it a better one. Okay, we've got those, and then now we go into... We need to start by going into Nuclearcraft to click the first one there, because I'm pretty sure we're going to open up some here. Yep, and then all of those. So just experience, a loot chest, and another loot chest. And then now go pick up the stuff from all the other ones. So the survival generator, which I made off camera because it's boring. It's a very crappy coal generator. We're not actually going to use it for anything. And then all of the other ones you did see me make over the time. So more free loot chests. They're probably dropping on the ground now, unfortunately, though. And then what else? Let's see. Mechanism. A couple more from all the random things we've been making. Oh yeah, all over the ground. Let me make some room real fast. Okay, let's take a look at what we got. A drawer controller. That's actually useful. I might need to put that in the farm one at some point. I was being lazy and didn't want to actually make one. Enhanced building guide for broken blocks. I can't remember what that does. I think that's for like making larger structures. It acts as a blueprint. Some more food. Drawer upgrades, which shows you how much is in them. TNT. A rail gun, so we can shoot stuff. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that. I think we have to make ammo for it. Thickened glass. And seared gauge for Tinker's Construct. So, nothing too amazing, but might as well get that out of the way. Now, let's go slap that in the wall somewhere and go try to set stuff up. And of course, as soon as I go to do that, I noticed that there were two more on the ground behind me, and I opened them up off camera, because that's the smart thing to do, right? So what I got was a phantom paste, which allows you to act as a remote input or output for another block, so you can slap this down and add more pipes to something if you need to. And then an advanced solar generator, which I'm going to go plug outside right now, because, I mean, more power is good, right? Right? I'm just going to slap this out here by the windmills real fast. See if I can remember how to position these. Ah, there it goes. And I think we're okay. And plug this in. And we should have power. Yep. Well, it's becoming nighttime. Alright, and so this should hopefully solve some of the power problem we're about to go create by doing the compact machine thing. So, third time's the charm, right? Alright, let's try this for real. So we need to start by putting a tunnel down to get power in. Let's just put it somewhere temporary for now because I'm going to redo this whole thing, so I'm going to scale it up, but this is just to make sure that it even works. Flip it to the side that has power. There we go. Put a flux duct on it, and then we need to put the crusher in. So it's the crusher next to it. And then see, this direction is east. Let's make sure that it takes east as an input. Not that I know which side any of these are. Input. And then put the cobblestone generator down on top of it, and yep, there it goes. So now it has cobblestone and it's crushing. So from here, we're going to want to put a muffler in to kill that sound long term. But we want this to come out. You know what, does this even need? This may not even need anything. Let me go grab the compacting drawer and see if it'll directly output to it. I honestly don't remember. So if that side's red, this side wants to be blue. And it does not seem to be sending it out. So it looks like we do indeed need an item duct. So let's toss an item duct on there real fast. Let's tell it to output, let's turn that on, and let's put the compacting drawer down. Yep, and there we go. And now you can see it as compressed cobblestone and double compressed gravel. Or not cobblestone, gravel. From here, we need to pipe that into the sieve. And I just realized I don't have a filter. But let me get the rest of this set up real fast, and I will go get one. Okay, hold please while I go get the filter. Alright, went back and got the filter, also realized I forgot a chest. So, you know, it works out. So, let's see, let's put an item duct on here, let's set the filter up, let's take out a piece of compressed cobblestone so we can set the filter, put that in here, and then turn it into a whitelist so that it only sends compressed gravel, and then put this on here. And that should start it up. Oh, nope, it's not going to start up because I don't have the mesh in here. So put the mesh in there. And there it goes. And now we should go see... no, let's actually put an output on this, and let's put it into a chest. so that it will continue doing its thing. Now, the thing is, this isn't going to go very fast right now. There's no speed upgrades on the Crusher. So you can see how slow this is going, and we need 9 of them for it to do its thing. So I'll need to put speed upgrades in the Crusher to make this actually do anything. So for now, I think we probably aren't going to be hitting any issues with the energy, but let me go see, and let me go see if I have any speed upgrades made already. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I didn't actually have any speed upgrades made, but it turns out they're pretty easy to make. They just require the enriched alloy, which is, we've made those plenty before. Osmium dust, which is just macerating osmium, and some glass. So I made 4 of them. We'll see how much that speeds it up, and we'll see how much power that drains, because these, as they increase speed, it doesn't say this in here, but they also significantly increase the power drained to use them. So let's put them in, which is upgrades. Here we go. So let's put all 4 of them in, and this will show you what it does. So as you can see, we've got 2 of 8 in there. The effect is now 2 times faster, 3, and then so about 3. So let's see if this is noticeable. Yeah, so it's going a little bit faster, which will help. And as you can see, stuff is adding up. So we're actually getting some output here. It could be going faster. I'm going to have to go see what our power drain outside is like. I don't think this is too bad right now, but well, it is kind of noticeably hitting, well, maybe, I don't know. Anyhow, we need to add the next step, which would be to actually pass these into a compactor, and then pass them into a smelter to push ingots out, and then dump them back out a tunnel into our storage system. So that will be the next step. So let me go make those pieces, and we'll come back and talk again shortly. Alright, so I got the next couple pieces made, and the first thing you'll notice is that there's no longer any sound coming out of the Crusher, because I built soundproofing blocks. They're pretty easy to do. It's just 4 orange dye and a bone block, which I have a bunch of. So that solved that problem. But I also found out that this was a sort of a massive power suck. It was quickly draining out our power bank, even more so than the heavy auto Sieve was. So I had to remove the upgrades, and then remembered I can put in energy upgrades to increase efficiency as well as the maximum energy it takes. So I was able to put a couple of the speed upgrades back in to make sure that this works. So we're at a net positive again still. It's still going so much faster. And then I also tossed in a muffling upgrade just to see if it helped at all, and it didn't. Maybe if I go up to all 4 it would completely muffle it, but it was easier and cheaper just to build the soundproofing blocks. So as you can see, this is quickly getting out of control. This is getting ugly. I plan to remove all of this and replace it with an XNet system long term once I start scaling this up. But for now, we are just going to continue doing this sprawl. So the next step is to take this and dump this into the auto compressor. The auto compressor is from Compressum. It just automatically compresses things together. It's pretty simple to make. It's just a bunch of iron and 4 crafting tables. But it does require power, so let's move the pipe over, like that, and we will pipe it into that. And the reason we're doing this is it will auto combine all of these into blocks. Yep, there you go. You can see that it turned it's turning all of these into their ores. Oh, and I just realized I have to filter out the diamonds and the emeralds because, yep, they're going to create blocks, and we do not want to pass those into the furnace. Alright, so let's just slap a chest down right here. Let's put a filter on it. Let's go grab the diamonds and the emeralds, and I've got their crushed black quartz already, and let's put these in here so that it pulls them into this chest instead of the other one. That should hopefully solve that problem. So toss these in here, yank those back out, and put these into here. Alright, so now we have all of this that we need to extract out. So the next step is to put another pipe here, take my handy dandy wrench out because we don't want them going into this chest, not yet at least. Sever that, and the next thing we're going to put down is the Extra Utils furnace. So let's go wire this up. Okay, there, now we have power. So now, yep, we just have to extract out of this, and we'll turn everything into ingots. Ding, 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 like that. And then we can extract out of that and put them into this chest, if I put it on correctly. Alright, and this is all sort of clunkily laid out. Like I said, XNet will make this all a lot cleaner long term, but this is at least a start. But now you can see I'm getting ore and ingots for free. So what we need to do at this point would be to have this dump out into another tunnel, and we would be done. But I don't have this wired up to our storage yet, nor do I have the storage set up to take all of this stuff in. So I'm going to let this start processing for a bit. I'm going to go make sure this isn't hitting our power supply too hard now that I've added 2 more machines to it. And then I will go set up a whole bunch of compacting drawers in the basement to take in all of this new stuff. All this delicious new ore and ingots. So give me a little bit to go get all of that set up. Alright, so I went and checked the power, and especially to make sure that it didn't drain it at night. It still looks like we're in the positive. The energy cubes are still full, so we're good to go. I went up and set up some compacting drawers outside and cleaned it up a little bit, so we just need, and hooked it up to a slave, so we just need to add a tunnel out here. It comes out the bottom, so we're set up like that, same as the other one. Put this on, remove that, and realize I failed you again. Alright, now that I've actually looked at my inventory and have the servo instead of the filter, let's turn it on, and this should now be dumping out into our storage outside. And there it goes, the diamond, and then the emeralds, and then everything else. Okay, cool. Let's make sure everything else is still processing correctly. That's empty. That's slowly working through the ores it's got, and that's processing. Okay, good. So out here down in the basement, as you can see, I added a bunch of drawers. I also used the quantifying key from storage drawers on the controller over here to turn all the numbers on. I wasn't in a massive hurry to turn on because it does get kind of spammy to look at, but now if we look at this, we do see that I have everything outputting, including the all-important nickel that I need going forward here. So this is what I would like to call a good start. Now we can go do something else while I let this power up. And I'm thinking our next step is another farm to go with the automated farm, except this time it'll be trees, and we'll move the coke ovens inside it so we can automatically process that, and maybe set up a better power farm off of that, as well as coke, as well as wood just in general. So how about we go get started on that? Alright, so it's a good thing I did some testing prior to just starting up this recording this section, because as it turns out, I didn't remember how any of this worked, and it took me a while to sort out all the issues because it's not quite the same as the harvester. So the core of this that we're building is the Cyclic Forester. And the Forester is pretty similar to the harvester. It takes diamond axes and a basic machine casing and all stuff we can easily make right now. And it, in theory, does the same thing as it plants and regrows trees, except it doesn't work quite the same way at all. So the first thing we need to do is give it power. So you notice that I built this platform up here. It's 9 by 9. It's to build a 5 by 5 tree farm. The outer ring of cobblestone is just to demark the area the trees will have leaves, to make sure that I can have a large enough area to let the trees properly grow, that other things won't get in the way. It won't plant it on the whole 7 by 7. So what we're going to do is put a tunnel down here, and turn on the power, plug it in, and put the Forester up here on the top. So it has to be on the same level as the dirt you want to use. The other thing we need to do is put some item ducts in, because we need to put the saplings back into it, because this, while it claims it does the harvesting, it doesn't actually. It's a lie. We need to use an item collector. Okay, and now that we have this, we can put that up here for the item collector, and we can put this up here to run the power to it. Now let's put it down, and from here on out we got to be a little more careful. Okay, so the item collector's down now, and the Forester is down. So now we don't really truly have a 5 by 5 because I have to use one slot here. We can hopefully fix that with other pipes later, but again, it doesn't matter. What we're going to build is an olive tree farm, which isn't the ironwood I was using earlier for aesthetic purposes, but this does drop olives, which we can use to make fuel out of, and hopefully make this more self-sufficient. So I'm going to plant the 10 that I have, and we're going to bone meal some of it, and then we're going to go get the seeds. And we're going to make sure this is all properly turned on to 7 by 7. We're going to make sure it... There we go. And you can see it's chopping down the tree block by block. And then everything should be in the item collector. Yep. Okay, so now that we have all of this, we can grab these saplings and we need to actually send these back down. So now the trick is they'll only replant it in spots that previously had saplings. So that was just to get it to send them back over here. We're actually going to take this out and manually replant these now. And we want to do this until we have the full 24. So give me a couple minutes to speed this up with bone meal. Alright, so now as you can see, all of the trees are populated here. And inside it now has a stockpile of a couple. It's slowly adding up more. If we come down to over here, you can see that I added a drawer down here just to act as temporary buffer for the 3 types of items that come out of this tree. So that's just for storage so that we have it in case this would fill up. We don't want any one thing to overload that right now. At this point, I want to put in 2 coke ovens just because I can here to process the wood, and then we'll dump any excess out into a tunnel. So let me build those real fast and then I'll show you what I intend. Alright, so you can see I put 2 coke ovens at about this level just so we can see them and I can move under them more easily. The whole point of this is to start making charcoal, which to create creosote, to create more power generation in the form of compression dynamos or something that eats up the charcoal to generate power. I'm not entirely certain what I want to do with this. I'm probably actually going to end up moving these higher up in the room so I can stack them vertically along these walls. Maybe put a couple more of these in, try to process more in time, maybe make the tree farm a little bigger. I don't know. I haven't really thought it through too well because this was kind of spur of the moment, but it was one of my needs just to get things moving forward. So, you know, that's progress. Anyways, it's been a good run today. So, I mean, we got the tree farm done, or at least started, and then we did the we got my ingot situation under control. One of the things I do want to point out is I know I didn't do any of the ore doubling with the ore generation that I'm doing right down there, but I really just need to get it bootstrapped at a very basic level because I really do need more nickel. Like, I need a lot of nickel, guys. And we're already stretching the power generation that I currently have just to get that going. So adding a couple more machines in to do the doubling really doesn't add much versus just getting anything out of it at this point. But I'll probably might set it all up at some point in the not too far off future and maybe add a couple more sieves to start getting more materials out of it longer term. But that's just to get it started. You know what? I just realized I goofed. If I had moved this one more over, that'd be a pair of eyes and a nose. I could have had a face. I fail at aesthetics, guys. Basic 101 stuff here. Nope. Well, as always, I'm Ard. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.